to another video. Today we find ourselves on a BMW 130i. So this 130i is the most powerful one we have done yet. So it's the one that has done the 299.9 bhp, which is quite a feat to do, to manage to miss 300 by 0.1. By the way, this is average. It's the average of 3 tests. So actually in 2 of them was slightly over 300, but to me is the average across the 3 tests that count. So we're here on a drive, making sure it drives as it should. And I haven't driven one that feels like this. It's rather quick. So our stage 3 one was fast. This one on top of that is headers, as the gravity headers that most people know of. They're also ceramic coated, which helps. But in terms of acceleration and response, it's rather impressive to say the least. What do you think, Toby?
It's quick.
So, where I've noticed the biggest difference compared to our one is the urgency on response and the way it holds the top end. So I put the curves one against the other, and the headers really come alive. And it's the fact, like now we are in 6th gear, put our foot down, or actually 4th, but the way this goes through at any RPM, it's incredible. It really shows the torque curve we have seen on the dyno. So this is 5th, 2000 RPM, and it's pushing. It's 2.5 now. So this was 500 RPM gain in 5th gear, just at 2000 to 2500 RPM in that little amount of time. That shows how torquey the engine actually is. And in terms of drivability, as you can see, I'm up a hill now, 6th gear. We are within the speed limit. We're following another car, and it feels completely normal. Normally with the stage 3, below 1500 RPM, they're a bit harder to drive. But this is something we are ironing out as we speak. You see here there's a little bit of juddering, but that's to do with the cam positioning. So there's one thing on our Valvetronic arms that makes it very different, which is it also changes duration drastically. Even though the lift doesn't change that much, duration does. And in certain points where you have a lot less lift, the duration is still considerably higher. When I mapped out the difference in duration from the stock Valvetronic arms to our ones, on the lower areas of the RPM, we managed at some points 40% more duration. The reason for that is, when I've designed the arms, I designed aiming at losing waste on the system itself in terms of duration, not really focusing on lift. Lift came as a bonus. After I understood how the system works, it made total sense. But I found there was a lot of waste movement, and I just reduced that by a little bit, and the gain was what we've seen. This is now the 5th car with our arms, but it's the fastest road car. Our Z4 is a bit different, but it also has a different intake manifold, the prototype one we are testing still. But yeah, this is a rather quick car. It's quite interesting because the torque is just like everywhere. 3000 4th gear, and there we go, 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5, 5.5, 6, and we were going way too quick already in there, and this was just a pull in 4th gear from low RPM. This is not even revving, as you've seen. I only revved it to 5.5, close to 6, and the acceleration is non-stop on it. When we develop a tune, we always want to make sure our customer will not lose the drivability. This is one of the key points for us. Even if that compromises having a little bit less power, to us is more important for the customer to have a good driving experience. So we drive the cars just to make sure everything is on point. and it pulls as it should. It's not only the dyno that is important, because the dyno is not how you drive your car most of the time. Now I'm driving it normally like 6th gear, cruising 2000 RPM, light load, everything is as it should. We do these tests to avoid people coming back saying, okay, it's making a lot of power, but I really don't enjoy the way it drives. We don't want to have that. Therefore, we'd rather spend some time driving the customers' cars, try them, do some hard pulls on them, and then also, very importantly, just cruise. Do a normal cruise and then a slightly faster cruise, which would be a lower gear on a high RPM, just to make sure there's no hiccups through the power band or the usability of the engine. We don't want to have a customer takes his car, he drives on a different manner to the one most people drive. Everyone drives differently, and then have him complaining, oh, it's not driving the way I wanted. So we don't want that, because these are quite drastic mechanical changes. Also requires quite drastic calibration changes, and this is something like there's areas on this tune I'm not fully happy with, and again comes down to how much moderation it has. So we have to adjust the vanos on the partial load to work out with the duration gain, and this is why below 1500 RPM the car is a bit jerky, but that can be corrected on the tune. And generally this is why we drive the cars, to find spots like that. Every car is different, and this one certainly is different because it's the fastest 130i I've ever driven, and I've driven quite a few, I've tuned quite a few now, but this really takes the cake. It really takes the cake. Also helps the fact this one has a proper diff, so it puts the power down. It has the BMW Performance airbox in it, there's a BMW Performance backbox, so everything is helping. Now is only have those final touches done, and then the car should be ready to deliver to the customer. Once again, thank you for watching another video. I hope you are enjoying it. Thank you. Bye bye.